Transformation is a journey, it's not a destination. And in that journey, you really become the best version of yourself. So today I have with me my dear friend, Mohira. She's been working on her transformational journey for a good couple of years. And we're going to go deep to her journey to find out how having support from a transformational coach really helping her to tap into her greatness. And most importantly, helping her to accomplish and turn her dream, her family dream, into the reality. So welcome, my friend Mohira. It's good to having you here.
Thank you.
So if you
I'm really happy.
Yeah, I'm very happy too. If you can introduce yourself briefly, who you are, what you're doing, and what is the reason you are here in the UK? I know after a lot of turbulence in your life.
Okay, so I am an EFL teacher. I'm on my 31, so I'm 31-year-old. I have 2 boys. So most of my time being full-time mom. And plus, yeah, I work as a teacher, EFL teacher. I am originally from Uzbekistan. I was born in a small town. I came to the UK 8 years ago for the first time. But then I spent quite over 3 years in my home country again. And 2 years ago, I came back. I'm here.
Okay. And can you tell me and the audience about why did you decided to go back to the UK this time?
Okay, so I lived in my country for 3 years after a 2-year experience in London. For the first year, I was quite busy with my baby, and I was still doing tutoring, teaching, but later I found kind of urge within myself, I need a change. I want more opportunities. I want to discover more challenges for myself and for my family. For myself, I was really I felt desire to have more professional development, and for my children, I wanted quality yet affordable education. And as a family, I enjoy going to the parks, spending time in the libraries, and going to the leisure centers. And considering all of these, I was sure that UK can give this one for me again, because I already have experience. Yeah, that's why I think I chose moving forward again.
Okay, thank you for that. And I knew that you has to convince your husband to move that, to arrange all of that things and all of the attachment and all of the memory, all of the commitment in your home country to move to UK. Can you give us a little bit of insight? How did you convince your husband to relocate from Uzbekistan to the UK?
Yeah, it was not only my husband's, to be honest. My son was also against coming back to the UK because of his school friends, language. And I used your help to become effective communicator as a wife, as a mother at home. So we just sat down and discussed seriously, writing down what are all our opportunities out there and what could we achieve together. And yeah, I try it in different angles to persuade. It wasn't easy. I tried to show the advantages, not only for the sake of the family, but for himself as well as a person. I wanted him to rediscover himself again. And now I can see he never regrets. He is grateful being here. And he's still like, how can I say, like developing and exploring new opportunities here in his new job. Like, you know, after 20 years teaching career in Uzbekistan, now he is trying to become a manager in catering service, so in hospitality. Even yesterday he was at college, like searching for relevant courses for himself, because he really wants to be promoted in his job.
Wow, amazing. I can see you really move a big mountains to convince all the family members and to look forward to the future and what UK can offer to yourself, your children future, and your whole overall your family opportunity and well-being. So thank you for sharing that. Can you tell us about when did we working together? Because to give you all a bit context, so Mohira is my coachee and I am her coach. We knew each other from BPP University 8 years ago. We studied the same master degree and we become a good friend. So can you tell the audience about when did we actually start working together on your transformational journey?
Yeah, I believe it is over 2 years now. I think it was in April 2021. Yeah, it was a time when I was like struggling to make a serious decision and to persuade my family for this journey.
Okay. And reflect back on that journey 2 years ago. And to compare with where you are now and where you was 2 years ago, can you tell the audience about how was that journey? What's the difference?
Yeah, like I can see two differences now within myself. Like, first of all, it is emotional, like intangible differences. Like before I used to be quite emotional, like taking decisions very emotionally, not putting them like into the weight of like rational weight. And my habits changed, like have changed extremely. Like I could say, like I had some bad habits, like I used to watch TV shows, like I think embarrassingly amount of, like I can't, when I remember about these times, like I could spend the whole night, like 3 or 4 nights, like simultaneously, just being within this distraction. But now I could focus, I could find my own focus. What is my role as a mother? What are my responsibilities, and what are like, and to be honest with myself, like, am I really doing it for the benefit for myself? Yeah.
Okay.
There are quite many differences.
Okay. And one other thing I remember during our continuous conversation is to remind yourself about the reason why you decided to be here. What's the reason why you be here? What is your dream? Can you tell us a little bit more about that? You know, how did I remind you about the reason why you being here, helping you to keep focus and have the clarity on that direction so you overcome the obstacle? Because I know you encountered tremendous challenges and that is keep happening again over and over again, and that is not easy for somebody to keep going, keep pushing forward because of that reason, the reason why you've been here.
Yeah, the main reason I want to settle in this country, and sometimes it is hard to admit, because like I have thoughts about my parents, my friends, my relatives, like in my country. I could never tell them that. I couldn't explain. But like when we see it as a family, we know what is the reason of, like, we are not here like temporarily just seeing what is around here, like living for a bit time and move. We already experienced that. So this time, this is not the reason. I want to go on till the end. I want to achieve this dream. Like, I want to open the doors of international education for my children. Yeah, like, I think that's it. And of course, like my big dream, like since for a long time, I always wanted to become the professional in my field. And in education, it all is definitely like you need to do PhD, like go too deep in your field and explore.
Yeah.
And there are many good opportunities here to study PhD as well.
Yeah. So that is very good to hear from you, and also helping the audience to have some perspective about your dream. And it's not only your dream, but also your family dream. So I know you were struggling and you encounter a different challenge on your journey is very normal. And but that's the reason why so many people give up on their dream, right? So we constantly discuss on that and how working with a coach helping you, number one, hold yourself accountable to your dream. Number two is to remind you why, the reason why you're here. And number three, have a clarity on your actionable plans. Because sometimes we can be busy doing a lot of stuff, but are we really being productive? Are we really working and moving toward to our dream or not? Is a different question. And so many times I can see people are sucked into their busy life and not realizing what's the direction of they are heading to. So can you please give a little bit clarification or insight how working with me as a transformational coach helping you to have that clarity and keep focus in your dream?
Yeah, I already mentioned a little about what like my habits has changed like tremendously. In terms of planning, time management. Like before, I used to think a lot, like I know what is good, what is bad, what should I do, but I was busy with something else. But now I take time every week to plan my week ahead. Like I try to make sure these plans are taking me towards this my goals, like achievable goals, my dream. And when I'm spending my time with something, I try to think about, like, am I doing this? Is it a distraction? Is it like just to entertain myself for a time to forget about my responsibilities or something? Of course, we need some time for this type of things as well, but like we can't spend the whole time, like whole precious time of us, like every day for such things. Now I understand it like throughout my body, like, and my habits like is completely different.
Yeah, time and energy is our two biggest resources that we have.
Yeah, and you also mentioned about like accountability, like when you just on yourself, like you are the best person who knows about yourself, like honestly how you are living, how you are thinking. You may be like thinking like, yes, I have these intentions, I have these dreams, but in terms of taking actions, it is always best having an accountable partner, like who can share their wisdom, like the best thing here is like listening and helping you to see this dream through the other angle.
Yeah, definitely. Accountability are the key, because we can have so many plans and goals and dream, and then life, throw different challenges, and it's kind of easy to justify the reason why we're not doing it. So having somebody holding yourself accountable, I know your son and your husband being very proactive in being accountable partner for you and hold yourself accountable. And that's very fun to have the family member involved in your dream. I'm very happy to see that. So let's talk about emotion, because I know emotion was probably one of the weak point of you like 8 years ago, and working with you for the last 2 years and seeing you managing your emotion or be able to get back up quicker, much quicker after you encounter setback. That is, I remind you, that is a tremendous progress in your own journey, right?
Yeah.
So compare when you was and how you now. How did you see the benefit or transformation in your handling your emotion, especially when things are not happening according to your expectation?
Yeah, before, like, I used to, when there is some challenges in my life, I used to search for the treatment, like outside, kind of trying to make friends, to share it with someone, or like, I don't know, like I couldn't be as responsible as I am nowadays. Like I couldn't sit back and think about what I was doing, like what is the way I'm going towards. Like looking forward, like seeing what results this action could happen is a huge change for me. I think like before I wasn't like this. When something seems like, like glittering things in life, like when you say it, oh yeah, I want to own it. Like I can just, without thinking the challenges in this way, and like results, like consequences it could bring. I was just like walking blindly. But now, like I could say, I can see where I am going. And if I do one action, what kind of consequences could happen. I always try to take time to think like about my actions, like at least twice before making decisions.
Okay. If we can pick one favorite coaching exercise that we work together, what would that be?
Yeah, this is of course your questions, like endless questions. But sometimes I felt like you are asking the same thing again, but when I'm thinking, like rethinking it, then like exploring what kind of outcomes coming through this way, then I understand, and then I've come to realize that, yeah, this is very helpful. After an hour session, I found like a different Mahira every time. Okay, these exercises you always ask, what would happen if you don't do this? Or like, what would be the results, like, or effects of this action on your family, like on your emotional self, like in terms of your professional side, what would be this? Yeah, this is like imagining all our actions and their effects on every aspect of our life.
Yeah, it's my favorite coaching, transformational coaching too as well. That is from Dr. John Demartini. It's called Demartini method. So to give an audience a little bit of perspective, behind every single action, there is a consequences. And the consequences not necessarily bad or good, it's just an outcome come from that actions. And sometimes we take an action and we try to avoid or deny to accept that consequences and not holding ourselves accountable. And that decision alone can affect to many areas of our life. Could be in our spiritual, belief about who we are, what inspires us in our life, in our mental capacity, in our family, in our emotional, in our money, finance, in our career, in our contribution to society. So sometimes to having the person or individual having a 360-degree perspective about that decision or that event, how does that affect their life? Helping them to have that kind of overall perspective, gonna helping them the clarity on what is the best course of action moving forward. And now they can see the bigger picture, right? And I remember you even mentioned about your son, seeing you doing what is a benefit, what is a drawback from this event, and he's just laughing at you.
Yeah, we normally do it as a family. Like we just come around the table and sit down and like writing the benefits and drawbacks of this action, like kind of weighing. And we even give points for them.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So if you can give, let's say, maybe 2 minutes, what is the most difficult challenge that you have overcome for the last 1 year? Because I know you encounter so many challenges, and majority of people would already give up on their dream. But we work together, and you being very strong in your mental capacity now, and you keep going. So share with that and how we're working together, helping you to keep believing yourself. And I remember you mentioned one of a very powerful statement that I am the creator of my own destiny. And I remember you sat in the park and I asked you to repeat that statement like 3 times and really feel in your body. And after that day, you tell us, how does that change?
About the challenges, I'm going to start from the recent one, the most recent one, like in April, like unexpectedly, I was fired from my job. I felt quite emotional on that day. I felt, okay, then all my efforts kind of coming to this point was just zero. So I was not capable of doing this. And I don't know, for a moment, I just thought about it, but then I like, the problem is not me. This is the place, like we don't match each other. Do you want me to tell the whole story or just
the high level, if you can tell?
Okay, so I was like, until that point, I think 8th of April, 8th or 10th of April, like even before I finished my CELTA course, I could find a job, and they were very happy with my teaching and teaching styles, and they like before they told me like the contract starts as 20 hours, and like as soon as they saw my lessons, and they just wanted me, like insisted me to start earlier. And I thought, and I really enjoyed the atmosphere, everything was good, kind of students. But then I discovered my life values are quite different from theirs. For me, education is not only money, and it is different for this organization. And in terms of like, it was like challenging, stressful time for me, like at least for a week. I couldn't share with anyone, but inside me, I repeated like everything is happening for my own benefit. And I could see that like I was right. I could spend more time with my children. Now I have more controlled plan, and it gave me some time to rethink about before applying for jobs. And I was kind of quite far from my real dream. Like I wanted to settle down here, but this position was not right for me. Like I could see this kind of things after like reconsidering all the actions, all the situations. And like after that, I failed another interview, like I think after a month. And it was another challenge. I felt again like depressed. Why it's all happening to me? I'm like that. Even we like discussed with my husband and wanted to just okay, let's stop doing these jobs and this is not right for me. So I could change. Like I could go with something else. Like just after I don't know one night. I kind of shake up myself again. No, why I should give up with just these challenges? I'm not that weak. Like I have friends like who was successful in their career after 100 job applications. So yeah, I try to reconsider, to try to find my strengths, think about these challenges in a different way, try to think them positively. So now, yeah, I secured a job now, like I'm starting next month, and I am researching PhD opportunities, like I have more clear, like much clearer insights about my future now.
Okay, that's good to hear. And like I say, you know, when life throws challenges on us and when we feel that we are so close to our dream and it's being taken away, it can be easily to be discouraged and give up on our dream. But the one gonna be stand out. And let's say we have so many tests from the universe, we have this conversation, right? We have so many tests from the universe to see if we really deserve, I put in effort for our dream, because what we try to accomplish our dream is big. And I believe that the universe will want to see if you are really capable of handling your dream. And there will be different tests to see if you are capable of handling your dream right now. So having that faith and having that resilience to keep going on your journey and take the detour to see what is a message for me right here and what the lesson for me to learn from this adversity is become gonna helping us to get back up quicker. So tell us about, because what I want to having the audience to get the message in here, like we can try to handle different situations at our own, but what is the difference when you have somebody from inside, somebody from outside, they probably ahead of you, they probably overcome similar or bigger challenge than what you encounter at the moment, and hold yourself accountable, helping you to have a different perspective, so then you can see the clarity on the direction of where you're heading to. How does that make a difference in your journey? Because somebody might have the dream, but they try to figure it out at their own, and they just it's so difficult, and they give up eventually. And I see that it's very sad to see somebody giving up on their dream and not find out what are the support available out there and invest in themselves.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm kind of like disturbed with my challenges now. I know like some people are not trustful about financial investment on their dreams. Like the main challenge they think this is, let's say, like I had some friends from my home country. They contacted quite a lot asking help. How could I get offer from university in the UK? How could I move? Like I tried to help them. But then in the middle of the journey, they just gave up because they could see the challenges. Like, I think when people invest on themselves, like to develop personally and professionally, like in here, I think like personal development is a key. Like when they are strong enough, possibilities, even though they seem impossible, like with all the difficulties, can be achieved because they put all like 100% of their strengths. Like they became resistant in this stream. When you go on, the opportunity doors also can open. I also struggled a lot with all these challenges. Like it is not easy to move abroad for the third time, especially like in our experience. Like we invested for 2 masters to study in the UK and got visa as a family. It wasn't easy. And on top of that, we got refused, like we got a visa refusal from the US after all the investments, all the dreams. Like I think most of the people know about green card lottery. So we were kind of very happy at that moment, and the whole year we invested all our energy towards achieving this America dream. Like we were very, very close to it. And during this interview, all of a sudden they said, okay, we have some suspicions, like they wanted to do some review on our case, and they just postponed. And after that, we didn't know what is wrong in our case, and the pandemic started. So all our efforts are just fly away. But then we kind of rebuilt all our energy, tried to see, okay, then not America, but we can again to the UK. So I think every person had encounter these challenges. When you are as a family, it is even harder to overcome these, to stand up again and start going on. Some people just prefer to, okay, so I have everything, just stay here, no change. What I mean is many people are afraid of going outside of their comfort zone. But when you try to go a little out, then you will discover your true self. Yeah. You could see how strong you are in a different environment.
Definitely. Yeah. So why did you, I know your financial situation was challenging, but why did you decide to invest in yourself in one-on-one coaching?
I think the best investment I could spare for myself is to keep my emotional well-being. In order to stay strong as a mother, in order to achieve my dream, having a secured position. And I really need it because I know my habits, I know myself, I am very changeable. Like without feeling accountability, I could easily distracted. That's why, like, you know what, like for this two like for I think this is the second time I invested on this one-to-one coaching without even discussing with my husband, because I was kind of scared. What if he wanted me to postpone? I really didn't want it. So I invest all my like 1 month's salary right now, because I'm only doing online lessons at home, like just 3 students. And this is all I could have, but I wanted at least to have this one for myself.
Okay. And how did you invest in one-on-one coaching, helping you to boost your emotional stability? So not only being a mother of 2 children, being a wife, but also working hard on your dream as well. So I know there's a lot of responsibility, but how working with me and having one-on-one coaching support helping you to enhance your emotional stability, so at the end of the day you keep strong and you keep focused on your dream?
You know what, like every time before the day before we have coaching session, I always like sit down and reconsider all my actions. What could I discuss? What can I improve? What benefits can I get through this session? So, and it always helps me to improve all my plans, and it always gives me emotional stability. Otherwise I could, like I already mentioned, like I could be distracted easily. I could be quite, I just thought like every woman is like this. I am a mother, so I'm doing all my housewife tasks like perfectly. That's it. That's enough. But when I sit back and think about my dreams and my family responsibilities, like professionally, it is different talking to your neighbor or your friend, like, okay, this is happening, this is in my mind. It is completely different compared to coaching. When you sit to the session, you start like exploring yourself. Like every single session I found different Mahira within me, like, and every time I felt more motivational, like lots of motivation in my for my dreams. I could communicate much better way with my children. Yeah, because you see your actions differently and you discuss it with professional person.
Definitely. And you invest in yourself. Now you need to work to make that maximum on your return on investment, right?
Yeah.
Because if you don't invest in yourself, or you just have something for free, sometimes we don't value it. We don't put a work and we don't put an effort in that actions, and that make a difference. Yeah,
you're right.
Okay. So if you can pick one, the favorite, let's say the favorite moment or favorite experience throughout our coaching journey until today, what would that be?
This is difficult to answer because every session was like amazing.
Maybe big aha moment, the biggest aha moment.
I think it was at the beginning, like 2 years ago, which pushed me towards like applying for universities, like applying for another master's and like go forward towards the dreams. Because if you remember that times like 2 years ago, our dreams, like our plans were like my husband should study, but he couldn't. So all the applications was kind of failed. Then I could say, okay, so that's the end. He was kind of expecting this, but I didn't. Like I pushed myself for, like I applied, I think 5 universities. And they didn't give me offer straight away. They asked me like extra work, because this is my third level 7 education. And like I put all my efforts towards achieving this. And yeah, I'm here. I came like in September. I just started at the end of July, yeah. And I was in London in September.
No, I know. And you convinced your husband to sell the house in your home country.
Yeah,
Have that money.
because
Yeah.
when we discuss things together with you, like I start visualizing it in my mind. And when you are certain yourself, then you can persuade other people. When you feel uncertain, then it is like, it's useless.
Yeah, definitely. And I like, like you start visualizing your dream and seeing yourself as that person who already accomplished your dream. So you will show up differently, don't you?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So how you transform and become a better version of Mohira influence or having an impact on, number one, your 2 children and also your husband and people around you?
Sometimes we try to change through the books. Like I tried this one before. Like I use it to read quite a lot, like a lot. Like we had a big bookshelf at home country. Like we spent times reading every evening, like during the day. But just learning is different than taking action. Now I may not be reading as much as I used to do, but I could see I am taking actions, because when I sit down, like thinking about my dreams and making them in achievable plans, then I could also like show, like on my wardrobe, I put all the stickers, all my like weekly plans. I always take what I'm doing. So I can see the action. So it is different compared to being like just thoughtful, thinking about it all the time, but not taking actions.
Yeah. And how does that influence or make an impact to your family?
It's of course different too, because when I have different habits, for example, if I spend time just in one corner reading something or watching something for a long time, think about the children. I'm not like this anymore. Like I'm not spending that time. I always try to spend time with my children, and they can see their mom like working. Whenever I open the laptop, my little one, like he's 4, he knows like I'm doing lessons, like I'm preparing lessons or I have online classes. Then he sees like, yeah, she is working. Like it is different in their eyes as well. Compared to just watching movies.
Yeah. And how does that helping you to be, because I know you have 4 family members in your family, right? And everybody have a resistance. Let's say, if mommy want to go to this direction, but it's hard, it's challenging, then maybe the rest of the members are resist to that plan. So how you become a better version of yourself as a result of your own personal development, and also have a guidance from me as your transformational coach, helping you to convince and bring everybody together and move toward to that direction, having everybody on board with you on your dream.
You touched very point, like, which is relevant to our family. Like, we are four, so we all quite different. All our age is different, like at least 10 years between all of us. And we always think different things, but when taking actions, like when thinking about doing something which can influence on the whole family, I try to push them, like see the real effect it can happen, and we negotiate everything. We try to discuss. I cannot just, I or my husband, we cannot just be dictators. Okay, this is the rule, we will do this one, or this is the way we need to follow this one. No, we always discuss it. We try to understand, okay, yeah, this is good, like try to consider every person.
So now improve the negotiation skill.
Yeah.
Excellent. So if you can pick the 3 biggest value you receive from transformational coaching when you work with me, what would that be?
Are you talking about tangible ones or intangible effects?
From your own experience. Could be tangible, could be intangible, could be combination of those two.
Okay, let me combine them. So the first one is emotional. I can say it is like personal. This is my habits. I could change my habits. And I could let me include like all 3 in one point, like get off. I was able to get offer from university for another master's, then granted for visa, came to the UK and finished this course on time without any receipts this time. Yeah, and even with a good relationship with my course director, like who could encourage me to go on with academic studies. And number 3, I think this is as a family, like our family traditions, like has changed, because as I already mentioned, like we started discussing things together, negotiating, and making decisions together.
Okay. Amazing. And what are the things you like the most from working with me? Maybe pick 3 things.
Okay. What other things? I really like being accountable. I know you are punctual and you always do whatever you wrote down. This is my plan, so I do this. I try to see you as my ideal, like then I say, yeah, this is a time I need to be on time. I need to get prepared. I really like it. Otherwise, I could be distracted. I could just give up in the middle. But with you, I couldn't do this. I always try to become punctual on my assignments, like everything. And number 2. What else? There are many things I was thinking about. Okay, let me help. What else has changed?
What's present in your mind? What are the things you like to work with me?
I like dreaming with you. I like to see what is my advantageous points. Like you encourage me to see good things within me and go with them. Oh, I forgot to mention about like after our coaching, I decided about my professional career as well. Before I was everywhere. I was thinking about even
remember.
coding, remember?
You remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At one time, like I was thinking, oh, should I go back to finance? I only have like 6 months of experience, but I was thinking, okay, I could go.
Yeah.
You helped me like what is my good points that I could work on and make it even better.
What is your strength? What is you truly value yourself? Like what in another word, what is intrinsic inspire you from within? Right? Because if you do coding, probably somebody need to push you through, you're gonna procrastinate, you're gonna beat yourself up if you don't live up to that expectation. But if talking about follow your dream, the dream it really comes from within you, that is intrinsic inspiration. Nobody need to push you. You just intrinsically inspired to take the action, and that willing to endure, willing to embrace all the challenges and just keep going, keep focused on your dream. And that gonna set you apart from other people, right?
Yeah, true.
Okay. So the last question I have, for somebody who are considering to hire a personal transformational coach, helping them on could be accomplish their dream, could be accomplish their goal, or overcome certain challenges in their life, but they're not quite sure how the transformational coaching going to helping them, or they're not quite sure if they are worthy of that investment. What are the messages you want to tell those people?
Yeah, I would say you definitely go on. You're worth more than that. So yeah, I think the best thing people could invest for themselves rather than like academic. Everything is important in our life, like, but when it comes to personal development, I think it's very like it is crucial, because when you start this journey, you could find what are your strong points and how resilient you could be when you rediscover yourself. Like then, you know, when you achieve something, you really celebrate it because this is your achievement, not someone else's. It's quite different when you, I don't know, there are many accomplishments in people's life, but when you link it to yourself, like because when you sit down with transformational coach, you consider all the challenges happening and all the steps you already came through, then you can clearly see how much strong you could be.
Discover like you are much more. You can do more, you can be more, you can accomplish more.
Yeah. Like even in challenging situations, people are easily can be like stressed and they just give up for everything. Yeah. But when you use this like coaching, then you feel like accountable for every action you are taking, even for this being in stress. You wouldn't want to spend your precious time for spending like, you always mention like it is emotional, you need to leave it out. Yeah, for some time we need it, but not all the time. You need to go forward.
And then go back to the reason why you are here.
Yeah.
Why are you doing what you're doing? Why you move all the mountain to be here, right? Would it be fair to say that working with a transformational coach and having support in place, helping you to reduce the time, number one, use your time, use your energy more effectively, and potentially avoid a lot of mistake, right? Going to different paths, try different thing on yourself and beat yourself because you not live up to that expectation. Would you say that? Would that fair to say?
Yeah. Sorry, you asked a question.
I asked question, yeah, helping you to save time.
I said you are like concluding what I said. Yeah, it is like it makes you very efficient in terms of your time. Like it's the beginning I mentioned about like I started like planning everything. I started being more effective and efficient in terms of time because my time management is quite different now compared to 2 years ago.
Mm. And how about avoiding potential mistake or wrong investment? To the wrong, could be the career path is not meant for you.
Yes. Yeah, sometimes we spend like for a long time for this mistake, and it would be like I know it's not it's never late, but when you go back you need to start it again. That's
With less
why
money.
yeah, like less time, less money when you avoid mistakes in your life.
Yeah, I think it's not only about what you can accomplish, but also avoid the mistake you could possibly encounter without the guidance, right? Without the coach helping you to see the path, because we have so many blind spots that we don't see, we cannot see it because we are so close, right? But having somebody ahead of you, they already overcome it and seeing the bigger picture, maybe they more neutral perspective, like having a coach outside to help you to see that a 360-degree view, then you can decide which path is the best for you moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. Like I mentioned, like when you sit down and discuss the situation and the action together, you can see throughout the different angles. When you are thinking it like within yourself without putting it out, like it is completely different. You can only see on one side, not like when you put it in different angles, it is different.
Yeah, and when we see from our own perspective, we also have an emotional attach, and we have our own story and belief to justify why this not happen, and that can make different when somebody holding you actually accountable for your decisions and helping you to gain the clarity.
Yeah.
Okay, is there anything you want to say that I haven't asked you before?
I think that's all. Just I was thinking about it, like working with you also influenced on my Islamic practice, like in terms of my religious, because when your habit changes, everything changes in your life. When you manage your time sensibly rather than like spending it for some emotion, like thinking about emotional things, then you can be honest with you, and it pushed me to see the real reason why I am living and the real beauty of my practice, which is influencing on my whole self in terms of like physical appearance. It also influences on my financial sides, my family relationships.
And you're confident about yourself.
Yeah, definitely. This is most important thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Because,
the more
when you judge yourself like all the time, because when you feel blame within yourself, it is the hardest point, like feeling always like feeling guilty. Oh yeah, I'm not doing this. But now, like being honest and being manageable with your time gives you more potential to discover about yourself.
Yeah, and become all you can become.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you so much, my friend Muhira. It's wonderful to not only to work with you before, and I hope we continue working together, but having time to reflect back on your journey and share your transformation with other people is a very sacred to me to do that. And I really hope if somebody watching this video, for them to keep that dream alive and believe that with the right support, with the big reason why they do what they do and why it is important to them and to be their family, then they can they're willing to move the mountain and swim the ocean to turn their dream come to the reality. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I really appreciate your attention. And thank you for listening to me.
It's all the way a pleasure. So you take great care. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Yeah.